It's very easy to mistake your current emotional state as your intuition leading you. And the solution to discerning intuition from an emotional reaction is very simple. All you need to do is be able to sit in that feeling until you come to a point where you're numb to the emotion, or essentially just neutral. So this requires non-reaction, resistance to reacting, resistance to giving into the impulse. Sometimes impulse can be good, but only from the state that you want to occupy, that reflects your desired reality, not from the state of lack, scarcity, desire, anger, or pride. You want to be able to act from a state of peace, joy, abundance. You wanna aim for the high scale of the emotions, not the lower scale. Especially desire. Desire is one that people really, or like that I actually struggled with, because sometimes acting from desire feels right, because if you don't desire it, that means you can't have it. That's how most people would think within themselves. But really and truly, desire is a gap in itself, keeping you from getting to where you want to be, because desire is an indication that you don't have whatever you're desiring. So that is an emotion. It's even lower on the scale, lower than anger. If you look on the scales of consciousness, I believe by David Hawkins, desire is a low vibrational emotion, because you're in a state of yearning, you're in a state of lack, essentially, when you're in desire. So if you are feeling any of these things and there's something you need to do, there's something that has come to your mind to do, don't act, just let the thoughts flow, let everything flow. Meditate. You basically just meditate, or take a walk, meditate, or literally go to sleep on it, until you come to that point of neutrality. You've basically let the emotion run its course, because what emotion is energy in motion. The emotion will burn itself out at some point. So don't repress, don't shove it down and try to force another emotional state. You allow yourself to feel the emotion, let yourself feel it until the emotion dissipates, and you can now look at it objectively. Because sometimes the emotion acts like a blur to your lens. It's like a smudge on your lens, essentially. Or it's like steam. It's like when steam is on your glasses, right? And then you have to wait for it to clear up, or you clear up yourself. That's essentially how the emotion is acting. It's acting like steam on your lens, and you don't want to make any rash moves and move anywhere without seeing where you're actually going. So by the time you get to a point of neutrality, which is when the steam clears off your glasses, then you can see clearly, and then you can allow your intuition to lead you from that point on. And you'll be able to see clearly that the decision you're about to make was you confessing what you don't want to confess, confessing lack, confessing scarcity, confessing anger, confessing anger, sadness, depression. Every action you take, depending on where the action is coming from, the state that the action is coming from, will determine the fruits of the action. So if you take an action from a state of abundance, whatever action you took will produce an abundant circumstance or an abundant outcome. If you take that same action but coming from a place of scarcity and lack and desire, it will produce outcomes that will reflect that state of desire, lack, scarcity. You want to be able to meditate through it, learn how to have emotional intelligence, build your emotional intelligence up by just allowing yourself to feel those mood swings, essentially. You know, you can't always feel good all the time. That's just how the universe works. The law of rhythm, there's always a rise and a fall. Even the expectation for perfection can put you in a dangerous spot. Because when you then find out that things can't be perfect, then you start to spiral. You kind of start to accept the notion that things can't go well for you. And that things can only get worse. Or whenever things go great, they have to get worse. You need to be able to see all your wins and losses as wins. See everything that is happening that is bad as favorable for you, favorable to the conditions that you're striving towards, or favorable to the conditions that you're in already. Once you're able to recognize that everything can work in your favor, you'll be able to spot why the adversity has arisen. You'll be able to put on the mindset of, once you're able to put on the mindset that everything that happens to you is for your own spiritual benefit and your spiritual growth, to add to your frequency, to strengthen your frequency, you'll be able to reap whatever you need to reap from that adversity to strengthen your frequency and further, literally just further strengthen your frequency, to further be able to discern between when you're being led by reactiveness instead of being responsive. And you'll be able to then start to respond instead of react and take control of yourself. And once you take control of yourself, you've already taken control of reality. Pick what state you want to act from. Pick the emotion that you want to identify with. Pick the thinking patterns. You'll be able to remember who you truly are, essentially. Focusing on peace, focusing on abundance. And once you focus on that, you'll be able to think clearly, essentially. Think clearly and let whatever thoughts flow, because every thought stems from an emotion first. Emotions come first and then thoughts. So once you already start to embody the emotions and feelings of who you're meant to be, who you want to be, the right thoughts will come to you. And you have to trust yourself at that point. From that point on, all the work is for you. It's left for you to do for yourself. If you found this useful, like and subscribe. If you didn't subscribe as well, I still appreciate you watching this far. I still hope you gained something from this video as well. I hope it still made an impact on you. Keep evolving and stay blessed.